What happens if someone publishes a wrong result? You withdraw from the tournament. This is what has happened with Vantika Agarwal, one of the gold medalists in the chess Olympiad who was playing in a chess tournament in Uzbekistan. Now, apparently the game had ended in a draw, but the arbiter published a wrong result. The next day when Vantika came, she saw that it was classified as a loss. She was mortified and she took to social media to vent out her frustration, because Vantika Agarwal was really not happy when she said, "My game in the third round of the President's Cup in Uzbekistan ended as a draw. I submitted the score sheet with the right result. Then when I checked the pairing, it was published as a loss for me. I immediately mailed them and informed them, but they said that it's FIDE's rule that they can't do anything. So I want to ask FIDE why they made such a rule. If it's arbiter's mistake, why should I suffer? I have spent a lot of money to play in this tournament." So basically what happens? When a chess game ends, every player has noted down the move. The move, what is there on the pad, is then submitted to the arbiter. They agree upon a draw. If it's a loss, if it's a win, it's noted. The arbiter signs it and it is given to the organizers. But here, the arbiter only has classified it as a loss for Vantika. And because the result and the pairings were not changed, because what will happen is, if you change a result, it will directly impact the pairings for the next round as well. Now the arbiter didn't change that. Vantika has now taken the drastic step of withdrawing from the tournament, because she stated, "I have withdrawn from the tournament. I can't continue playing in a tournament where wrong result and pairings have been published because of arbiter's fault. And there is no way to correct it in spite of immediate information. There is no guarantee that this will not happen again." Now, incompetency from the arbiter is not covered in the FIDE handbook when you have to look at it, because according to the rule, what is the arbiter's main role when you have to look at chess scoring and regulation? Because according to Rule 8 of the FIDE handbook, it states, a result was written down incorrectly, or a game was played with wrong colors, or a player's rating has to be corrected. This comes under the correction bit, under chapter 4, subsection C.3. He mentions, a player communicates this to the arbiter within a given deadline after publication. The new information shall be used to update the standings. The deadline shall be fixed in advance according to the timetable of the tournament. If the error notification is made after the pairing, but before the end of the next round, it will affect the next pairing to be done. If the error notification is made after the end of the next round, the correction will be made after the tournament was submission to rating evaluation only. But in this case, there is a deliberate mistake which has been made. Player rating has to be corrected, or the result was written down incorrectly. There is a deliberate result. Now, the problem in the FIDE handbook is that anywhere here, there is no provision for a correction. And that is the main reason that FIDE has to look at it. Why should a player who anyway doesn't get that much of support, has to spend his or her own money, goes to a tournament, then has to withdraw from it because you cannot get it corrected, be made to suffer? Vantika unfortunately has withdrawn from the Uzbekistan tournament, and she wanted crucial rating points, because even remember, there is also the women's candidates that is up at stake here. Any tournament that you can win through the FIDE circuit, through the Grand Chess Tour, to make it to the candidates, you have to do it. Crucial tournament participation is important, and that is why one has to understand Vantika Agarwal's situation. Arbiter made a mistake, but there is no provision in FIDE to correct it. And Vantika gave it within that deadline. Immediately she mailed, immediately she did it. But FIDE informed her that it would not be done. So aren't they contravening their own handbook, 8.c? This is the one thing that they have to look at. So very, very unfortunate that Vantika has had to suffer this, but chess really has to ensure that the arbiters are competent enough to ensure that the game of chess, at least the result, is written in the right way. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.